Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., also known to us as Tom Brady, is officially retired. Second time's a charm. He announced to himself yesterday that he's done with the game of football. And what a career. Now, before I get into all the accomplishments and memories and everything that he's accomplished as far as what he's done on the field, I am surprised, shocked, somewhat disappointed. Not trying to be judgmental, but based on how the last, 12 months have unfolded for him, there is no way that I am leaving the game of football on the terms that just occurred. There's no way that I'm sacrificing my wife and kids just to get beat down by the Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. There's no way. I at least have to come back for one more year to try to resurrect or redeem or something, if I'm going to sacrifice all of that just to end my career the way that it just happened. That's me. I mean, I asked other people, they kind of felt the same way too. But I guess at the end of the day, if you feel like it's time, then it's time, right? I mean, he's played football for more than half his life now. More than half of his life has been in the NFL. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like Tom Brady was a rookie when I was in 7th grade, and he won the Super Bowl, his first Super Bowl, when I was in 8th grade. So yeah, fast forward later, it's definitely been a couple of decades here of Tom Brady playing in the NFL. I remember watching him even younger than that when he was at the University of Michigan. Now, I was not really into college football at all when I was a kid, but I do remember, some names as I was getting ready to switch from college football to something else as a kid on Saturday mornings. But I do remember seeing Tom Brady's name in Michigan. Like, basically, if you was a Big Ten school, I kind of paid attention to a couple of names before I switched to something else. Either playing my PlayStation or, I don't know, watching a cartoon or a movie, I don't know. But nevertheless, I do remember seeing that name, Tom Brady. I'm like, that's an interesting name. But yeah, Tom Brady. He is too much on his NFL accomplishments here. So, just so you know, Tom Brady's NFL records, let's see. Most passing yards with 89,214. Most passing touchdowns, 649. Most passing attempts, 12,050. Most completions, 7,753. Most wins as a quarterback, 251. Most 3,000-yard passing seasons of 20. Most 20-pass TD seasons of 20. Most QB starts, 333. Most games by a quarterback, 335. Oldest quarterback to start and win a game at the age of 45. Oldest player to play in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl at the age of 43. Most Super Bowl wins, 7. Most Super Bowl appearances, 10. Most Super Bowl pass yards, 3,039. Most Super Bowl pass touchdowns of 21. Most Super Bowl completions, 277. Most Super Bowl pass attempts of 421. Most pass yards in the Super Bowl, 505. Most completions in the Super Bowl, 43. Most pass attempts in the Super Bowl, 62. Most playoff wins, 35. Most playoff games, 48. Most playoff pass yards, 13,400. Most playoff pass touchdowns at 88. Most playoff completions, 1,200. Most playoff pass attempts, 1,921. Most games with a touchdown pass, 291. Most games with multiple pass touchdowns, 204. Most games with 3 pass touchdowns, 104. Most games with 4 pass touchdowns, 39. Most games with 300 pass yards and no interceptions, 62. That's impressive. Most games with 3 pass touchdowns and no interceptions, 68. Most games with 4 pass touchdowns and no interceptions, 28. That's impressive. Only NFL player to win a title in 3 decades. Threw a touchdown pass to 96 different players. That's a regular season record. Threw a pass touchdown to 35 different players. That's a postseason record. Most Pro Bowl selections are 15. One of 2 quarterbacks to start and win a Super Bowl with multiple teams. And last but not least, one of 4 quarterbacks to defeat all 32 NFL teams. Those are all the records that Tom Brady holds right now. The man has won 7 Super Bowls, 6 with the New England Patriots, 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The man has basically done it all. So it's like, what more is there for him? And I'm pretty sure out those 32 teams that he has played in the NFL, the only team that he has a losing record against is the Kansas City Chiefs, which he is 5-6 against them. Other than that, he has a winning record against everybody else. He completely owns the Buffalo Bills. If I'm not mistaken, his record against the Bills is, I want to say it's 33-3. Something of the sort. And the Miami Dolphins is not too far from that either, as far as the record against that team. So, what more can you say? I mean, GOAT title, by all means. Like, it's hard to not call him the GOAT for what he has done, his longevity, what he has accomplished, the records that he has set. I just listed all the records. So, what more is there for Tom Brady? Maybe the only thing that could probably stain his legacy besides what happened this past year, besides that part. There's the couple of controversies, Deflategate, Spygate, just being involved in that, just because the Patriots was involved, by association. But other than any of that stuff and what happened last year, I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say, man? So, once again, congrats to Tom Brady, officially retired. 2 times a charm. So, in other news in the NFL, really quick, because apparently, between last time I talked to you all and now, it just, a lot of stuff just wanted to happen, just wanted to pop up and, make headlines and stuff like that. So, DeMeco Ryans, the former defensive coordinator of the 49ers, signed a 6-year contract to be the head coach of the Houston Texans. Now, the only thing that I really ask, and I don't even know if they're capable of it, because the Houston Texans is a very toxic organization. I've had my fair share of takes on Houston, so I'm going to leave them alone in that aspect. But I just hope that he gets a fair deal and a fair chance to actually show that what he can do as a head coach. Because becoming a head coach of bad situations, particularly one that's bad and toxic, it is very difficult to have results instantly. Usually it takes time, over the course of a couple of years. Especially a team like Houston that's depleted of talent. They are like, it's a dumpster fire. Outside of maybe like 3 players, everybody else can go. So that roster has to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. So I hope he has a fair chance of that. I mean, DeMeco Ryans, resume speaks for itself as far as having the number one defense, getting the best out of the players, to buy into the system, leadership qualities. So, the accolades and accomplishments are there on his end. Once again, will he get a fair chance to do what he has to do? And apparently the Denver Broncos really wanted him. Couldn't get him. So they decided that, hey, we're going to grab Sean Payton. And New Orleans is like, well, he's technically still in the contract, so you're going to have to fork up a first-round pick and another early draft pick. So it looks like a first-round pick and a second-round pick is being shipped off to New Orleans in exchange for the Broncos hiring and signing Sean Payton. Now, Sean Payton is probably the only coach to me that can probably, turn things around. But at the same time, this is also saying that the Denver Broncos are going all in on Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. Because they basically gave up 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks at this point. And a few players for these two people. They basically mortgaged their future for these two guys. Now, Russ definitely was not cooking last year. But, a lot of us, for me, it was kind of similar to the Raiders. To where, you could have threw Derek Carr under the bridge. Derek Carr at times did not play well. But for me, the main issue and the main problem was Josh McDaniels. For me. And so, the main issue and problem for me was Nathaniel Hackett. Now, I feel like the Broncos had a lot of sense and figured that Nathaniel Hackett is not a leader of men. Nathaniel Hackett cannot lead and be the head coach of a football team. So, therefore, they cut ties before the season ended. Like, this is not a good fit. Thanks, but no thanks. We're going to have to go in a different direction. We invested too much money in this quarterback for you not to be putting him in the best position possible in this suspect play calling and setting us up for failure. Completely get that. I do. So with them getting Sean Payton, who has, won a Super Bowl, and I would say that Super Bowl New Orleans is probably one of the most important Super Bowls to happen within the last 25 years. Definitely, to me, probably a top 3 important win, for that community. So he accomplished that. Of course, he had Drew Brees over the years, put him in the best position possible. And so I think Sean Payton can definitely do the same with Russell Wilson, as in put him in the best position possible. They still have weapons. They have plenty of weapons on that offense. Defense, they still have talent. They probably just needed somebody with a voice that knew what they were doing. That's just what it is. So I am curious to see what happens there. I am. I can't wait for the off season. It starts in March. We only got 1 game left, and we'll talk about that game next week as we get closer to the Super Bowl. But nevertheless, those 2 hires happened. Tom Brady retired. And also, as we know, the NFL Pro Bowl is a joke because the starting quarterbacks for the AFC now, even though it's supposed to be a flag football game, but still. Trevor Lawrence, okay. Tyler Huntley? What? Tyler Huntley was named as a replacement player. Derek Carr. This guy got benched before the season ended. Told him to go home. You're not coming back. He basically told him like Scar told Simba, run away, Simba, and never return. Like, bruh. Like, how dare you? But he's a Pro Bowler? And then the insult to injury on that one, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen is skipping the Pro Bowl festivities due to quote-unquote injury, but he's competing at Pebble Beach this weekend. He's competing at Pebble Beach. That's a golf course. So he's too injured to play in the Pro Bowl, but he's fine and dandy to play 3 or 4 rounds of golf at Pebble Beach, a famous golf course that's part of the PGA Tour. Okay. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I missed the Pro Bowl when I was younger, and it was the skills competition with the especially with the quarterbacks and the targets, the moving targets, the longest throw. Like, that was fun. That was fun to watch. You had the young guys, the vets, like Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, Mark Brunell. Even though it was like a young Tom Brady, I seen a young Drew Brees before. It was fun. It was fun to watch. And back when, guys played with pride and a lot of effort and actually cared instead of the mockery that it is now, it's just all for entertainment purposes. But it can't even be entertaining, so why are you even out here, right? I don't get it. At this point, I never will. But it is what it is. So the Tom Brady news is officially, the end of an era. Because these 6 quarterbacks, for quite a few people, you grew up and watched them over the years, right? Tom Brady is officially retired, so he joins a list of Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. And Eli, Big Ben, and Phillip Rivers was all part of the 2004 draft class. They all were in the top 10. I remember that quite well. Chargers had the number 1 pick. They drafted Eli Manning. Eli Manning didn't want to go there. He wanted to go to New York. So he kind of like forced his way out of there. And basically they swapped Eli Manning for Phillip Rivers. The rest is history there. Big Ben went early on as well. And all 3 of those guys should be Hall of Famers for different reasons. So, and of course, Drew Brees, we know what he's done. Peyton Manning, there's a community that feels like Peyton Manning is the GOAT. Now, not based on accomplishments, but based on ability. And that's something I cannot argue against. If you feel like Peyton Manning is the best quarterback of all time because of his ability, because of what he's done, because of the eye test, by all means. By all means. Peyton was sensational. Man, have you ever went against Peyton Manning in Madden? Because what Peyton Manning was doing in real life, he did in Madden too. And it drove you crazy. It really did. But yeah, those 6 quarterbacks, end of an era. Man, getting old out here. But I feel like the league is in good hands with quarterbacks these days. Mahomes, Burrow. Look like Hurts might join that conversation here pretty soon. Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson to a certain degree. Trevor Lawrence is entering that conversation. And then there's some, other ones that's up and coming too. So it's getting there. The league is definitely getting there, man. I think we're in good hands as far as quarterbacks. So yeah, that's about it for today. You all continue to rock with me right here on No Offense Radio, No Offense Network. Check me out on social media at JGoodWithSports. We're talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So this weekend, there's no early morning sports talk podcast. We're taking a week off to just get prepped for the Super Bowl edition for the following week. Then after that, we're on hiatus until March Madness, which is fine because we've been powering through like basically every week since the summer. We've been consistent every week, so a little break is warranted. But yeah, we are in February, second one of the year already, Black History Month. Maybe I might, share some Black History jewels every now and then, by all means. But And I guess, speaking of which, I think I named this, pretty sure I named this on Tuesday. That this is the first time that, two black quarterbacks are going against each other in the Super Bowl. It's like two black head coaches back when the Bears played the Colts, Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith. But anyway, you all, let's get back to the money. Continue to be blessed. Be safe out there. Until next time, peace.